Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. Today we are looking at Hardware issue 5. Now we start off with a man named Deacon Freaky Deek Stewart. And he is a computer hacker of sorts. And he's going out to visit his favorite prostitute, Lisa. And he stumbles onto a crime scene of where she had been murdered. And that's how the issue starts. Now this is written by Dwayne McDuffie with Dennis Cohen, penciler, Jimmy Palminetti, inker, Noel Giddies, colorist, Steve Hain, letterer. Now Hardware is in the process of destroying a boat full of drugs that's coming into the port. And he blows up, which is a really cool scene. And when he gets back to his secret lair underneath Alva's tower, he gets a phone call from Deacon. And Deacon's a rather husky fellow, and he's obviously in jail and in trouble. So he calls Hardware, and Hardware says, well, sit tight, I'll get you out of there as soon as I can. And he says, don't worry about me, find out who killed her. Hardware has a long history with Deacon, gonna do him a solid, and he goes to visit a Mr. Freeman, who is Icon. I don't know what's going on here, but there's a reference that Hardware is doing something for Mr. Freeman, so they have some kind of history. Freeman gets Deacon out of jail, and Hardware picks him up in a car that has an image enhancer that makes him look like somebody else. Well, Hardware is going to go investigate the scene of the crime, but there's a new player in town who is also going there, a guy named Deathwish, and they end up at the crime scene approximately the same time. Hardware's there first. Deathwish thinks that Hardware is the killer returning to the scene of the crime. So that's where we end the issue with a cliffhanger because they're about to have it out. So all in all, a great issue. It was a fun story, great build up. The explosion scene on the boat was really cool. And this Deacon guy's pretty interesting. He set up the phone and message boards for Hardware. Message boards. That takes you back, doesn't it? I am really interested to see where the story goes, and Deacon seems like an interesting character. Computer guy, does some pretty high-tech work, so should be pretty interesting. And I'm looking forward to reading issue 6, which hopefully I'll have up in a few days. But yeah, great introduction to Deathwish, who is sort of a Punisher type character, and we also meet Deacon, and we learn a little bit about there being some sort of connection between Hardware and Icon. So we'll see how that plays out in future storylines. In the meantime, Hardware and Deathwish are going to be having it out next issue, and hopefully they can resolve their differences and team up to find the true killer. That'll do it for this one. Short episode, good issue all around, highly recommended. The art's good, the story's good. It's actually one of the best storylines so far as single issues go. This was a really good issue and probably the best one yet. I think it's going to continue to get better, and I'm looking forward to finding out. But that'll do it for this episode. As always, thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. Be sure and hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.